Hi guys, I'm Kyra. Welcome back to another video here on Peep Designs. So today we're going to be talking about the importance of networking. So this is going to be the third video in my Entrepreneur Diary series. I know it's been a while since I've posted. I've been pretty busy with school, with work, with Peep things. So yeah, but I didn't forget about you guys, and I didn't forget about this series. To me, this series is very important, especially as an entrepreneur. And I know there are some of you who follow me who you want to go into entrepreneurship, or you already are an entrepreneur. So I just want to share what I've learned with you guys and hopefully help out in some way, shape, or form. So networking, let's get into it. Networking is, let's see what Google says. Network, interact with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. Sounds simple enough, right? But when I first went to a networking event, I had this big idea of, it's gonna be so stressful. What are people gonna think? What do I say? How do I dress? What do I even do when I'm at the event? So I'm going to cover all of that in today's video. So I want to share with you guys my first networking event that I went to, what it was like, my experience. So my first networking event for Peep Designs, right? At first I didn't want to go because I was a little afraid. I'm like, well, what's it going to be like? I had all these excuses. No, I shouldn't go. It's going to cut into my time. I'm not even going to see results from it. Is it even necessary for me to go? But long story short, I went. I ended up wearing, I didn't really have the right outfit for the event, but I guess it mattered more how I carried myself. So usually to networking events, depending on the scene, some events will be poolside, they'll be at a restaurant or a bar, or it will be in a business setting. Depending on who's hosting it, usually you want to dress business casual. What I wore was more casual, more kind of like casual upscale. So I wore my Peep dress, pants and heels, and then I think my hair was fluffed. But that's not business casual. But how you want to carry yourself is, if you don't dress business casual, and even if you do dress business casual, you want to carry yourself with confidence. You want to be confident, even if you're panicking on the inside a little, like I was. You still want to carry yourself confidently. That way when people talk with you, or when you go to talk with somebody, they're not like, oh my goodness, get me away from this person, what are they doing? So yeah, but anyways, so my first networking event, I just went for it. I honestly just went for it. I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know any of these people here. I don't know any of this stuff. And I went to a networking event hosted by, it's called Hawaii Lodging Tourist Association. They put on this networking event in a restaurant. So it was less intimidating because of the setting, but I was still intimidated because I didn't know anybody. Again, I didn't know anybody in that place except my dad. My dad went to the event. And so as soon as the event, like we got to the event, he's like, all right, Kyra, this is what you're gonna do. And then he turns around and I'm gone. But what I did, one of the things that I did, and I still do to this day, is if I don't know anybody, I'll just kind of scope out the land and get a feel for the different groups. Because most of the time what happens at these events is people start to section themselves off by, oh, we're having a great conversation, or I already know these people. And so if you already don't know anybody, what you have to do is you have to break into the groups. So what I do sometimes is I'll walk like a little ways, like where I'm right there, like say this is the circle, right? I'm here, here's the circle, and I'm slowly coming into the conversation. I'm like, oh, hi guys, I'm like, and you wait until they look at you. So this is what I wait until somebody makes eye contact, and I'm like, oh, hi, I'm Kyra. Hey guys, how's it going? Or before anybody looks at me, I'm just like, oh guys, hi, excuse me, sorry, I'm Kyra, just wanted to introduce myself quickly. What do you guys do? And then that way you're in the conversation and you're now in the group of people. And make sure you bring business cards. Sometimes I've forgotten my business cards at home. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you have business cards on you, or even if you don't have business cards and all you have is your Instagram handle, make sure you're sharing that. Oh yeah, I'm on Instagram, follow me. Or what I do is, oh, what's your Instagram? Let me follow you on Instagram right now. Or get their email, get their business card. That way at the end of the night, you can follow up with them. Or the ball is now in your court versus leaving it in their court, because people are busy. Chances are they're not going to email you until like a week, maybe never. So if you email them first, if you follow them on Instagram first, you've already taken the steps to alleviate the stress of a connection maybe happening. You've made sure that the connection does happen. So at my first networking event, one of the cool things that came out of it was seeing that I don't have to necessarily go to network events or events period that are geared towards my industry. So I'm a fashion designer, I'm also an artist. However, the event that I went to, like I said, it was Hawaii lodging and tourism. So I'm like, lodging, what does that have to do with me? Tourists has something to do with me, but lodging, that had nothing to do with me. But I made really great connections that night. I even got a mentorship out of that actually, which was amazing. Literally the end of the night, pretty much like the last conversation I had that at the event, and a whole mentorship opportunity came out of it. So you never know what's gonna come out of these events, and be yourself. That was huge for me, just being myself. You know, I don't have to come off as, oh, I own 12 companies and I'm rich and I've got so much money in the bank because my business, you know, and you don't have to fake it to make it. And you can tell the people who are faking it to make it, it's very obvious. The people who, they're trying to come off really smooth, really, hey, yeah, I run this business, but it's no big deal. It's like, okay, then I'm not gonna ask you. I'm not gonna ask you if you're not gonna tell me. So make sure you come off as confident, make sure you come off as comfortable where you're at. You know, you don't have to put on airs, as people say. Just be yourself. And another thing is be professional at the same time. You can be yourself, but also be yourself with a level of professionalism, because these are networking events. So these people who are there, they are coming to do business. They are coming to discuss business. So you want to make sure you're in the right frame of mind when you go there. So that really helped me that day, was understanding where I was, understanding who I was around, what types of people. Because sometimes at these networking events, you are going to meet people who are at the top of their game. And I do mean the top of their game. Like, they own businesses, they own buildings, they own high-level companies. So yeah, you never know who you're gonna meet. So I found that since I've been going to networking events, that networking is so important. If I haven't said it already, which I don't think I have, so I would say networking is the #1 skill set for helping your business to succeed. Because if you can create a great product and you can post it online, but you're not talking with anybody, you're not sharing what you do outside of online, and you're not putting yourself out there, your business can still be successful, but it's going to be more successful when you're networking. And the descriptions that Google gives for network is a group or system of interconnected people or things. So if you have a system of things, you know, different parts, different people do different things, and they can connect you with different people, you don't have to stress so much about, oh my goodness, how am I supposed to meet this person? Because they say you're only 6 degrees and maybe 7 degrees of separation away from the person you want to meet. So by networking, you open doors to meeting people that you never would have met on your own. Maybe you would have met them, but it might have taken you longer. I've had more opportunities come because of networking than I've had from not networking, if that makes any sense. Like, the relationships that I've made at these networking events, I've gotten a lot of open doors from that. And even just putting myself out there and being willing to network, even if it's I'm at a coffee shop or I'm on my job. You can network anywhere is another thing. Like, I network anywhere. Sometimes I still get intimidated depending on the scenery or the atmosphere. But I found that if I do it consistently, if I'm networking all the time and just making that my way of life, then it's going to be less intimidating every single time I do it. It's going to be less intimidating to share what I do, less intimidating to talk with other people about what they do, because networking isn't just all of it. It's not all about what you can do for me, but it's how can I provide value? How can I help you? What can I do to help you? How can we work together? It's less selfish. It's not a very selfish thing. Some people network for very selfish reasons, and it's not bad to network because you want open doors for your business and for your company. That's smart. That's smart. But you do want to balance it out with having the understanding that you do also need to tell people how you can provide value for them, or else you're just bragging about yourself. And not a lot of people want to be around people who brag and don't have much to offer. So that's one thing I've learned at these events, from going to networking events. That has been pretty crucial. Another thing I found with networking is that it pulls you out of your comfort zone. So for me, I'm a big talker, but in terms of sharing about myself with strangers, I was okay with doing it. But again, I've talked about insecurities that I've had in the past. And so the insecurities would rise up sometimes. I'm like, who's gonna care about my art? Who's gonna care that I have a business? It's a small business anyways. Like, I'm just making t-shirts, who's gonna care? So it really pulled me out of my comfort zone in terms of seeing what I do as a bigger deal. You know, not being all high and mighty, but seeing it like, oh wow, I really do run a company. Like, not a small business, I run a company. I run a label. I run a clothing label. Not a small company. I'm not making t-shirts. I have a business. Like, I have a legitimate business, a legitimate company. And it really helped me to start taking myself seriously, because as a business owner, you want people to take you seriously, and it starts with you taking yourself seriously. You tell people how to treat you. So that was huge for me. Huge lesson I learned from networking was taking myself more seriously, because people are going to ask you, well, what do you do? And you can see their responses based on what you told them about yourself. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, wow. Or they say, wow, that's fantastic that you're doing that. Which one's better? Oh, that's so cute. Wow, that's so, wow, good for you. That that kind of stings a little bit. Or, wow, that's fantastic. Wow, you're doing what? Oh my goodness, let's connect. I would love to connect with you. I would love to see how we can work together. That's better. And that comes from how you carry yourself. Some people are still gonna try you. I've seen that happen too. Some people will try you, but what can you do? It's gonna happen. Another thing I wanna address is that you don't have to do it all on the fly. You don't have to wing networking. What you can do, and I've done this for, I joined the Chamber of Commerce Young Professionals. It's, I don't know if you've ever heard of Chamber of Commerce, but look it up. It's a really good tool for entrepreneurs to access, because it puts your business out there. It connects you with different types of business owners and the legislators and people who are the makers and shakers in your state. So make sure you look into that if you are serious about taking your company to levels higher than just a small business, because that'll be really helpful for you. It's been very helpful for me, and I've been in it now under a year. This is my first year in it, and I've already found it extremely helpful. But through the young professionals, I found, my mom actually told me this. She said, make sure you write a script. Like, it doesn't have to be stressful. Like, oh, I do this. I own Peep Designs. Oh yeah, I do this. No, make it less stressful and come up with a script of things to say. Come up with a script of, well, I know people are going to ask me this. They may ask me this, or they've asked me this before, or this is what I would ask somebody. So make sure you have your answers prepared and what you're going to share, kind of like an elevator pitch, because sometimes you only have a very small window. That's happened to me before. I had a very small window. It was like an under 2-minute window to share what I did, and because I already had my script down, something great came out of that, an opportunity for Peace Peeps. So make sure you know what you're going to say. Maybe not all the time. Sometimes you will be thrown a curveball, and that's fine. That's life. You don't always, it doesn't have to be so scripted, but you do want to make sure you have a basis of what you're going to say. One thing that worked for me in the beginning too with talking about my business, I still do this sometimes, but one thing that worked for me was sharing it as though I'm sharing about somebody else's business. Because I found sometimes people don't like to talk about themselves because they feel like they're bragging. And I've seen that a lot in Hawaii, where people, they'll do great things. They'll share about somebody else's company and like their friends' businesses. Yeah, they're great. They do this, they do this. And I've seen this not just in Hawaii, but also in other places too. But then when it comes to their own businesses, and I've done this before too, when it comes to our own businesses, the things that are close to us, we won't share. We won't go to the detail. We won't go through the details of what we do, or, you know, pump ourselves up, you know, because we might feel bad. Oh, what if they think I'm bragging? Oh, am I being prideful? You know, so don't be afraid to share what you do, and be excited about it. Be excited about what you do, because that's gonna make them excited to work with you. It's gonna make them excited to know you. It's gonna make them excited to be around you and to see you at hopefully future networking events, or even to meet with you for coffee outside, you know. So you do wanna bring your personality to the table when you talk about what you do. Don't be afraid to talk about what you do. Another way that you can network, so when you're at these events, another way that you can break into conversations or start a conversation is by finding commonality. So for me, one of the things I'll do is, if I like somebody's outfit, if I genuinely like somebody's outfit, oh my goodness, I love your outfit. Wow, hi, I'm Kyra, what do you do? Right then and there, they're already, oh wow, thank you so much. Oh, I'm Kyra, I'm such and such. Or not, their name is probably not gonna be Kyra, but it opens the door, because now you found common ground with that person, and they're like, oh, this is just a regular person. Oh, cool, we're two regular people. We have stuff in common. Maybe we can be friends. Maybe we can get coffee. Maybe we can do stuff. So, you know, don't be afraid to find those commonalities, or to ask questions about, yeah, what do you like doing? Oh, what are your hobbies? Sometimes I'll ask that. Oh, what do you do? Because you don't want to assume just because they're at an event that they're doing something that's geared towards the theme or the career, like the Hawaii lodging tourist. I'm a fashion designer, what, like, you know. So make sure you find those connections. So last couple things I just want to note is, just go for it. Just go for it. You might be afraid, you might be maybe a little overwhelmed to talk to people. I know some people, they just don't like talking, but they understand that they need to put themselves out there, and so just go for it. Think of these people as soon-to-be friends. Yeah, think of these people as soon-to-be friends, and that will help alleviate some of the pressure. Like, oh, you know, what does it take? You know, all the friends I have, at one point I didn't know them. What did it take? It took me talking to them, finding out what they liked, finding out what they do, and seeing what ways we click. So think of these people at the networking events like that. Don't think of people naked. Oh, that makes it less stressful. No, it doesn't. That's weird. Don't do that. Just think of these people as soon-to-be friends. That will take a lot of the pressure off. And one of the things that you can think of too is, wow, this is really going to open doors for me. If I shy away from this, you know, what am I missing out on? Think of Shoot Your Shot. Shoot Your Shot 2019. Think of Shoot Your Shot 2019. Just go for it. They're people. What are they going to do? Either they're going to work with you, or they're not going to work with you. The worst thing that can happen, honestly, is that somebody tells you, excuse me, we're talking. And then you're like, oh God, what did I do? I messed up. It is what it is. Just keep it moving, keep it pushing, and eventually you'll get yeses, and doors will be open for you, and you'll find the right people you're supposed to be talking with, because there's at least one person at these events that can be an open door for you and your company and your goals. So think of it that way, and hopefully that'll help alleviate some stress and some of the pressure. That helps me. You know, for me, I pray before networking events. Well, Lord, please help me to connect with the right people tonight. Please help me to know who I'm supposed to talk to, and please order my footsteps. And I found that every time I pray that, I do meet the right person or the right people, and then the event isn't wasted on me stressing out or me talking to not necessarily the wrong people, but not necessarily the key people I'm supposed to be talking to. So if you know, definitely pray. I would definitely recommend praying before these events or even during these events. Lord, please help me with what to say. Please take away the stress. I've definitely prayed that prayer before, and that's okay. That's definitely okay. You know, the Lord cares about all the things that you're doing, especially if He's given you a business and a dream and a desire, then He definitely wants you to lift that back up to Him and ask Him for help when you need help. And even sometimes when you don't think you need help, ask Him, Lord, please help me. I'm going to make the right connections tonight. Help me to be a blessing to these people tonight. He will answer that prayer. I've seen Him answer it many times. So don't take my word for it. Try it out. Ask the Lord. Last thing, I want to share some programs that you can look into that I'm pretty sure these are all over the world. So you can look into seeing if they're in your area, because I know these programs, they offer like business mentorship opportunities or business programs or networking events, which is what we're talking about. But even in these programs, you can still network. So definitely check out Chamber of Commerce. Like I was telling you, Chamber of Commerce, you do have to pay for it, but it's well worth it. You get so many perks, and it's the people you meet, it's well worth it. And the prices vary depending on what area you're in. But Chamber of Commerce Young Professionals, you can definitely check out the YWCA. I don't know about the YMCA, but I know the YWCA offers opportunities for women business owners and just great resources for women business owners. Look into Meetups. There's a website called meetup.com, and I found on there they have entrepreneur meetups, business meetups. So make sure you're checking just meetup.com, and those are super informal, where they're meeting at coffee shops, they're meeting in libraries, they're meeting at the beach or at the park or something, and that way it's less stressful, and you still get the opportunity to network with like-minded people or different people that, you know, maybe you want to learn about a new thing. Go to these events and find out about these industries, find out about the people in these industries, what they do, and how you can better yourself. That's another thing with networking. You learn different ways to approach things from talking with new people, talking with people who have been in these industries and have been doing these things for like 20 plus years, and sometimes even 5 years or even under. You get different types of insight. So, you know, networking is so crucial to being a successful business owner, being a business owner that is well connected. That's the whole point of networking. You need to be connected. You're connecting yourself with other people. I hope something in this video was helpful to you, and let me know, do you have any tips on networking, or what things do you try out when you network, and where do you network? Have you ever been to a networking event? And let me know if you have any questions. Comment them below in the comment section, and I'd be glad to answer or start a conversation with you. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Peep Designs, and be sure to check out my website, Peep Designs. I do dresses, t-shirts, custom bags, and I can do custom pieces as well. So make sure to check out my website, follow me on Instagram, and yeah. If you have any ideas for the next Entrepreneur Diary video or any topics you'd like me to discuss in this series, let me know. I would love to do a video for you. And okay, good night guys. See you next time on Peep Designs. Bye.
Peace doesn't come